I was really looking forward to shooting you.
She really was.
Where is it?
It's not here.
If you ain't carrying nothing, why you so squirrely?
Heavenly Father.
I'm a United States Marshal!
What I was trying to tell you before.
Not now,
I
Sid.
seen your wife.
She's dead!
Calhoun! You got nothing, Calhoun! Come on!
You saved my life. You know that.
Drop your gun. Hang him good.
This movie tells the story of Nathaniel Reed, a farmer and former outlaw in the post-Civil War West, whose quiet life on the Texas plains is torn apart by a debt he cannot pay, a lawman with a grudge, and a lie that sets him on a road to becoming one of the most wanted men in 4 states. It is the origin story of a stagecoach robber who went by the name Texas Jack, and it is also the story of what a man is willing to do, and how long he is willing to do it when he believes the person he loves most in the world is dead. The film opens with a stagecoach moving down a dirt road. 2 couriers on the box are startled to find a man lying motionless in the middle of the trail. One courier fires a warning shot to see if the man is alive. He does not move. Then rifles click behind him. It was a trick. 4 robbers emerge from cover. The man in the road was playing dead to make the coach stop. The robbers take the horses, check the strong box, and find a woman passenger and a box of gold coins. One of the robbers makes a mistake. He pulls off his mask and the woman sees his face clearly. After loading the gold and leaving, the courier attempts to draw on the gang. He takes a shot through his left eye and goes down.
You want to die for the banks? Woo! We had it big here, boys.
Years later, that same courier, now a man named Calhoun, wearing a marshal's badge and a black eye patch, is nowhere to be seen yet, but his shadow is already falling over the story. We meet Nathaniel Reed, who has left that old life behind. He farms a modest spread in the Texas plains with his wife Laura Lee, a schoolteacher who has been too ill to work recently. His old friend Hank Holliday, now a bank manager, comes out to visit and breaks the news gently. Nate is 3 months behind on his mortgage for next week. He has until August before the bank puts a lien on the ranch. Nate takes the news quietly. When Laura asks, he tells her the truth. She tells him they have been down to the blanket before, and they are still here. The Reeds do not give up their fiddle that easily.
The mine closing down hadn't helped none.
Anything. It's nothing more than a minor fuss right now.
I'll catch up soon.
I'm sure they miss her down at the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jensen's gonna give you till August, and he's gonna put a lien on the ranch. I tried to get...
I know that look. What's wrong?
Hank says we have till August to get caught up.
We're behind? We've been down to the blanket before and we're still here.
That evening, Frank Bell, another man from the old gang, shows up unannounced and gets Nate to let him inside. Frank tells him that Jake Breedlove, another member of the original outfit, has been found dead, cut up badly as though someone was asking questions. Frank says a marshal is hunting all of them down systematically. He found Jake. He knows where both Frank and Nate are. There is a man coming, and he aims to bury them. Nate tells Frank he has a wife and a business and people who respect him here, and that Frank cannot be seen with him. Frank can sleep in the barn for one night and leave at first light. Nate brings him supper. When Frank leaves in the morning, Nate tells him not to come back.
Jake Breedlove's dead. This marshal, he didn't have no warrant or nothing. Well, they found Jake, and they cut him. And he knows where you're staying. There's a man coming, and he aims to bury you.
I have a wife, a business. People respect me here. You can stay the night, but you stay in here. I'll bring you some supper over later. When you leave here in the morning, don't come back.
The next morning, the local doctor pays a visit to examine Laura, who has been suffering from nausea and fatigue for over a week. The doctor's verdict is cheerful. Congratulations are in order for Mrs. Reed. Morning sickness, fatigue, she is with child. It is what both of them have been hoping for. At breakfast, Laura tries to tell Nate the news, but he is distracted and troubled. He shows her his gun, the one she knows about from before, and tells her there is something he needs to say. She tells him she has something too. Before either of them can speak, a voice calls Nathaniel Reed's name from outside the house. It is Calhoun. He stands in the yard with his partner Bonnie and a small number of deputies, demanding Nate come out with his hands raised. Nate sends Laura upstairs with a gun and tells Frank, still hiding on the property, to ride. He goes out unarmed. Calhoun tells him he remembers him from 3 years ago. He would never forget the face of the man who shot out his eye. He is not here as a lawman. He is here for revenge. Frank, ignoring Nate's instructions, opens fire from concealment, and a full firefight erupts. The shooting moves into the house. Calhoun and Bonnie split up and search. Calhoun goes upstairs where Laura is hiding. She fires and hits him in the chest. He fires back toward her. Frank finds Nate and tells him Laura has been shot in the head. She is dead. Nate cannot accept it. He tries to go upstairs. Frank physically stops him and drags him out of the house, insisting they flee before they are killed for murdering U.S. Marshals. They escape into the night. Nate wakes alone in the forest, abandoned. Frank returns the next morning and tells him the lawmen have gone. He also confirms what Nate feared. Laura Lee is dead. A ranch hand found her and laid the body down in front of the house. Nate is devastated and speechless. That same day, Frank takes him to meet an old associate named Sid Dalton, who lives quietly on a farm not far away and makes a cider whiskey from apples that he calls Applejack. Nate and Sid renew their acquaintance over the drink. Frank tells Sid what the marshal did to Laura and explains that the same man killed Jake Breedlove. Sid agrees to join them. They talk about what to do next. Nate rules out trains. Too many guards, too unpredictable. Stagecoaches. 1 guard, maybe 2, and you can hit 4 in the time it takes to rob a single train. No killing, Nate tells Frank directly. Frank says he will try. The gang runs several jobs successfully, moving through the territory and building a reputation. During a job, Frank suggests Nate use a new name so Calhoun cannot track him easily. Nate looks at the bottle of Applejack and calls himself Texas Jack. The toast is raised. Texas Jack is born. The years pass. They are drinking one evening when Sid notices a photograph of Laura and remarks that she was a fine-looking woman. Frank is already restless and looking for trouble. During the next job, Frank kills one of the couriers after claiming the man pulled a derringer. Nate is furious. Killing turns a robbery into a hanging offense and makes the law pursue them like they have never been pursued before. He hits Frank and tells him again, no killing. Frank tells him he does not answer to him. Around this time, the local judge approaches a man with a rough past and a sharp reputation and commissions him to bring in Texas Jack. Alive because Jack has not killed anyone yet, and the judge has other uses for him. Somewhere else in the territory, Calhoun and Bonnie walk into a bar and find Frank playing cards. Calhoun works around to identifying him. Frank is cornered and he knows it. He makes a deal. He will set up 2 stagecoach jobs and make sure the second one is a trap. He will commit the killings at the first job, so the murders get pinned on Texas Jack. That turns Jack from a wanted thief into a wanted murderer, dead or alive. Frank gets 20% of the reward in his life. Calhoun agrees. Frank leaves a deliberate trail at the crime scene, a bottle of Applejack whiskey beside the body, to brand the killing as Texas Jack's work. Back at the old Reed Ranch, now empty and sitting in quiet disrepair, Nate and Sid wait for Frank. He does not appear. Sid rides into town alone to buy ammunition. While there, he sees a woman who stops him cold. He asks her name. She tells him Laura Lee. Sid rides back immediately, barely able to hold the noose. He tries to tell Nate. Nate tells him to wait, a stagecoach is coming. They stop it and find it empty, a decoy. Calhoun steps out from cover. He has used Frank's information to lay the ambush. In the gunfight, Nate takes a bullet in the stomach. Sid, before surrendering, manages to tell him Laura is alive. He saw her. He spoke to her. She said her name. Nate wakes inside his own old house. Hank Holliday found him hanging off a horse at the edge of town and brought him in. A doctor has been treating the wound, and Laura Lee is there. Frank lied to him 6 years ago. She survived the shooting. She has been living in the same region all this time. Nate tells her that because Frank told him she was dead, he put his guns back on and became Texas Jack. She tells him he has a second chance now. Then she introduces him to their son, Nathan Jr., who is 5 years old and has never met his father. While Nate recovers, Calhoun has Sid in custody and Bonnie is beating him methodically, trying to find out where Jack is. Frank turns up and objects. Bonnie shoots him on Calhoun's orders. When Laura goes to the doctor's office for fresh bandages, Calhoun is waiting. He takes her hostage. Hank arrives at the house and tells Nate that Calhoun has Laura at the doctor's office. He also tells Nate something he has probably suspected for years. Calhoun was never a real marshal. A federal arrest order has been issued for him by the governor. Nate retrieves his guns from the livery where Laura put them and rides to the doctor's office with Hank. Calhoun has Sid with a noose around his neck standing on a footrest. He orders Nate to drop his weapons, then shoots him in the leg. Jack takes cover. Hank covers the room with a long rifle. Sid manages to get close enough to borrow a pistol from Jack. Nate tells Calhoun he will come out unarmed if Calhoun releases Laura. Calhoun agrees and lets her go. Nate walks out with empty hands and Calhoun aims to shoot him. Nate draws faster and puts a bullet in Calhoun's chest. Federal marshals arrive and take Calhoun into custody, where they also discover bodies he has been concealing in a rail car. A week after the shooting, Sid rides up to the Reed house on a Sunday after church. Hank has arranged for Nate to be taken on as a sheriff in town, a real one. Nate tells Sid. Sid says it suits him. Laura invites him for dinner. The boy asks his father about his nickname. Sid offers to explain. Nate tells him maybe when he is a little older. And that is how the story ends. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like and a comment to keep me going.